Well, good afternoon, good day. I'm here in Stanton, historic Stanton, and going through on my iPad questions I've gotten from folks all around Virginia. Let me go through them here. I see here Dan from Henrico asks, shouldn't there be truth in advertising on who is paying for Washington's programs? Like when President Obama says a jobs bill, he actually means that the taxpayers, not politicians, will pay for the increased government spending. Well, Dan, I think you're right. Washington's advertising certainly isn't matching reality. The president of the Democrats, when they passed that first stimulus bill, said, oh, we spend these $800 billion and it's going to create jobs. The reality is we're now 32 months with over 8% unemployment. The unemployment rate overall is around 9%. Underemployment's anywhere from 15 to 18%, where young people and middle-aged people are in jobs, but they're not fully utilizing their talents and their skills and their education. So in my view, I think you do have to have truth in advertising and realizing the best way to create jobs is not with bigger government spending. If it were more government spending, we wouldn't have such a weak economy. What we need to do is reinvigorate the entrepreneurial spirit of our country, reduce taxes on job-creating businesses, regulate the regulators to stop them burdening especially small businesses who create most of the jobs, and we need to unleash our American energy resources. That'll create hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs, provide us affordable energy, and keep the money here in the United States of America. That's truth in advertising, and that's the truth of how we'll get our country going in the right direction. Clifton from Pound asks, some are questioning your pro-life credentials. What would you say to them? Well, I'd say I have a proven record of standing up for families and unborn children. And indeed, when I was in the United States Senate, I have a 100% voting record according to the National Right to Life Committee on issues dealing with life. As governor, we passed the first ever parental involvement bill, parental notification bill. And I've always been standing up in a variety of ways against taxpayer funding of abortions. I was one of the authors of the ban on partial birth abortion, and I think parents should be involved when young, unwed minors are going through the trauma of an abortion. The last question we'll go through for this week is from David in Fredericksburg, and he asks and states, the country's falling behind much of the rest of the world economically and in many ways other areas. There are always going to be a different viewpoint nowadays. It's all about politics. If you're elected to the Senate and President Obama is reelected as president in 2012, will you work with him and other Democrats? Let me say this, David, as I'm hopeful a Republican will be elected president, and obviously I look forward to serving you in the United States Senate. When I was governor of Virginia, obviously Republican, first one in 12 years, the Democrats control both the House and Senate of the General Assembly. We ran on an audacious agenda, and we were able to convince and persuade a number of Democrats to pass our reforms, whether it's welfare reform, whether it's the abolition of the lenient dishonest parole system, instituting truth in sentencing, whether it was high academic standards and accountability in schools, or making sure the world knew that Virginia was open for business. In the United States Senate, just like I did in Richmond, I will work with people on the other side of the aisle. We'll probably disagree on 9 out of 10 issues. If there's one issue we agree on, we ought to do it for the benefit of our country. A prime example is the school modernization and rehabilitation tax credit. This is something that Paul Goldman brought to my attention, and we've been teamed up on it. Paul Goldman's a former chairman of the Democratic Party of Virginia, and this is a great way to renovate old schools in inner cities or rural areas, and students will be learning in a more up-to-date, more energy efficient building. Jobs will be created from it, and the taxpayers will save 30%. So if there are ideas where we can work together, we need to do it, because our country needs to be moving forward in the right direction. And the best thing anyone could do in a campaign is run on ideas, positive, constructive solutions, and achievable reforms. And if the people, you, the owners of the government, say, I want you representing my voice, my values, my views, then that helps us get those ideas through. So I look forward to getting our country moving in the right direction based on common sense conservative principles and the agenda that we've laid out in our blueprint for America's comeback. So with that, I guess that's it for this week. I look forward to seeing you all on the trail ahead. There's elections coming up, and I look forward to keep those questions coming. I look forward to answering them in the weeks and months ahead.